Author Bill Pike created the Principal's Pink Tutu Run based on a true story of something that happened when he was principal at Lakeside Elementary School in Henrico County.
That's right. He and illustrator Nell Chesley are here to tell us about their latest project that teaches how to turn disappointment into a challenge and hopefully success the second time around. Good morning to you both. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So the backstory on this is you tell the kids what?
Well, we had a reading goal that we always had every year at the school. And if they met that reading goal, then I promised to do something goofy on the last day of school. So this particular year, the goal was if they met the goal, I would run from my house in a pink tutu to the school.
And your house is not next door to the school?
No, it's not next door to the school. It's out near the intersection of Patterson and Forest. So the first year we set the goal, they didn't make it.
Wow.
So the next year...
So they didn't make it, and you said no tutu.
There was no tutu run.
So that had to be disappointing for everybody.
That was a disappointing assembly program that morning on the last day of school. But there was great learning that came from that. The next school year we refocused, readjusted, and really worked hard to make sure we were going to meet that goal. And the kids came through. And that last day of school 15 years ago in June 2002, I ran from the house to the school. It was one of the best days of my life.
Now, some people might say, but I just saw you do that last week.
That's true, okay? You know, I'm a great believer in gimmicks. and so last Thursday at Lakeside Elementary School, they had this terrific community picnic. And we were invited to be a part of that, and we recreated the run. And I lived to tell about it a second time. So.
Now, why did you decide to turn this into a book? Now, you and Nell are collaborators. Nell's the illustrator, and this is your third book together.
That's right. Well, you know, my clock's ticking. I'll be 65 in June, and I like to think there are a lot of things that I can do in this world still, and this story just kept coming back to me, and I felt like I needed to capture it.
So Nell, he writes the book, he gives you the script, so to speak, and you read through it. Do the images just pop into your head immediately, or do you have to read it a couple of times and say...
I have to read it a couple of times, and then I have to come up with some kind of a model for who I'm going to draw. And I've used my husband I had him on Cottage Road making twirls, and I've used my grandchildren. You know, their faces, I have a picture of them, or I'll set up something. Some of it is totally out of my head, but lots of times I need something to look at.
And what did you think about this story when you heard about it first and then read it?
I thought it was amazing. I've, you know, always been interested in children's literature and reading, and I thought it was a wonderful opportunity for the kids to have that stressed.
And the illustrations are absolutely wonderful. And I told you my favorite picture is on page 40, and I don't know if we can get a close-up of this, but this is Bill's house where he's getting ready to go, and the Channel 6 news truck is there covering the story. So I love the fact that you included us in the book as well, that we get to see the illustrations there. And it really does tell the story very well. Writing a children's book is not easy, is it, Bill?
No, you know, I think each of our books took us over a year to develop and put together, and we worked carefully with our publisher, Wayne Dementi. But there's another critical person in there. There's a graphic designer that when we get everything just about ready, Jane Hushin comes in and pulls everything together, and she's got a real knack of adding an extra dimension to a book to make it really pop off a page. So it's all teamwork.
Can I ask, in the age of participation trophies, did you even consider when the kids didn't make it, say, well, you didn't make it, but I'll do it anyway?
Not at all.
Yeah.
It never entered my mind. You know, kids need to learn about resiliency just like adults do. And even though they were disappointed that day, they regrouped. And they regrouped through their own determination, but also through encouragement from adults, parents at home, teachers in schools. And it worked, and it came together. And that made it even more gratifying.
And it's kind of neat that the project that was about reading culminated in a book that's about reading.
Yep. One of those critical life skills. I mean, you've got to be able to read to be able to survive. And, you know, we weren't perfect in our attempts always to help kids to become great readers, but everyone in that school put their heart and soul into trying to help kids appreciate reading and develop it as a life skill.
And I'm sure they also ask you a lot about drawing and pictures and say, how can I make a living out of drawing?
Well, I haven't exactly.
Nell's
But
being
I've
very
enjoyed
modest.
it all my life.
But
Well,
it's
for
a career
35
that
years.
maybe they haven't even thought about. You know, you know, sometimes you look at a book and you think, well, it just comes out of nowhere. Someone has to create the illustrations.
Nell's being very modest. She brings a book to life, and she's an accomplished landscape artist who has worked in the Richmond Federal Reserve. But she has a real knack, and when we go into schools and do programs, that's one of the highlights of the program, because she'll bring out a portfolio of work related to all 3 books, and the kids get to see firsthand how she created. And she creates with a piece of paper that's that size of the book. So it's a really interesting process for her and for us.
They're oil paintings on watercolor paper.
Wow.
Oh,
So
that's interesting.
those illustrations are available
Yes.
as paintings,
No,
so to speak.
they're mine.
Good try.
That's a good idea.
I tried. And why did you decide Pink Tutu running when you thought about the project and what you wanted to do as a reward?
That was actually an idea that came from a student and a librarian at school, Rhonda Riddick. She shared that she was on bus duty on a cold morning, and she said, well, you truly wouldn't know because you're not dressed in a skirt. And so a kid should say, well, you should have to wear a pink tutu. And so it all generated from there.
Thank you so much. The book is called The Principal's Pink Tutu Run, based on a true story that happened right here in Richmond. And Bill Pike will be at the Handmade Harvest Craft Show at Trinity United Methodist Church this Saturday. That's October 21st from 9 to 5 on Forest Avenue.
And for more information, we'll post a link on our show website by early this afternoon. That is WTVR.com/VTM.